go ahead and get started. I'm going to declare we do have a quorum. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, if everybody would rise. Mr. Everly, would you lead us, please?
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item 4 on the agenda, we want to have a discussion and possible action on removal of any item from the consent agenda. If we're good, can I have a motion to approve consent agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. All right, item 7, discussion and possible action concerning naming the dog park Bailey Coachman Memorial Dog Park. Any comments by anyone, or George?
I can do it. Sir, what we, staff presented an option to name it after Bailey Coachman. We were, the initial decision, or initial gumption was to name it just the McGee Dog Park. We took into consideration the current events and thought this was a fitting and lasting memorial to the young lady.
Yeah, at present we have Taja Buchanan and Trey, and some of Bailey's family members, and we invited them here for this occasion. As I understand it, Bailey absolutely loved animals, and what a fitting way to honor her memory. And I just want to turn it over. Taja, you want to try to say anything? I'm sorry, I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay, other than thank you so much to whoever considered it. Just thank you.
And normally, like we've done in the past, we'd have a street sign or something like that here, but what we'd like to do is we'd like to wait and invite you back to the grand opening of the dog park to do the little reveal of the sign and the whole thing, if that's okay.
And we haven't set that date yet.
We have not.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right.
Staff
Anything else?
recommend the name change, obviously.
Anything else, Mr. Foreman?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Trey and Taja, for being here, and family members. We appreciate you being here this evening, and what a great honor. So can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Bailey,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes,
Martins.
Yes. Someone will get with you as soon as we set a date for the grand opening, okay?
absolutely.
Thank you so much. All right, item 8, discussion and possible action on staff's request to declare one 1997 Ford fire truck with equipment as surplus, VIN number 1FDKF38GXVEA 86871, and possible direction to staff to solicit sealed bids from fire departments only for sale of equipment.
So, sir, what's occurred, we've got a new, as you all approved last year, we got a new brush truck in, it's equipped. We have a current one it's a 1997, but it's still in pretty good shape. And the bed, excuse me, on it, the firefighting equipment is in really good shape. So what we'd like to do, as soon as we got an extra one, quote unquote, I was approached by a couple of local fire departments as to their interest in it. Instead of putting it out for open bid, what I'd like to do is offer it to fire departments only, first time around, and set a small reserve. And if it's met, great. If it's not, it'll go into a larger auction that we're planning for early fall, if that's acceptable.
What will you do if you have more than one fire department that shows an interest in
High bid.
high bid?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Questions, comments?
As long as the reserve is small so that the smaller departments have an opportunity to get it.
Yeah, I don't want to say what it is here, but
Sure.
it would be nominal.
All right.
I'll make a motion to declare one 1997 Ford F-35 fire truck as surplus.
Second.
Bailey,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Item 9, discussion and possible action on purchase order number 105222 issued to Sequoia County Sheriff's Office in the amount of $25,000 for the purchase of one used 2023 Chevrolet truck for the police department.
Okay, I'll start off. Gentlemen, just fill in where I miss it. We've recently refilled a detective position in our one unmarked vehicle short. This is it's not a transfer, obviously, we're purchasing it, but this is a relatively cheap, inexpensive, I won't say cheap. It's a relatively inexpensive solution to getting that young man an unmarked vehicle. It is currently equipped, so we wouldn't have to pay upfit charges or upfit costs that we normally would, and it is a used vehicle, so it's significantly cheaper than buying new.
That's it, like
I got $12,000 worth of equipment in it, he gave $52,000 for it, so it's like $64,000, you know, a little over, 20,000 miles on it. We're putting a third detective back in the detective's office also. The other ones have 70,000 miles on them, so we're gonna have to ask for new ones eventually anyway. So, we just thought it was a good deal, and they cut us a deal on it just to give it to us, so, that's why they come down that cheap, was to help us out.
Also on the money, we're using Cherokee Nation money that we've got every year from them, that we've accumulated. And so it's actually not costing us anything other than a project or something that we would have been doing. So we feel like it would be a good use of that money.
Thank you, Herb, Terry, thank you. Questions, comments? Motion?
I make a motion to approve purchase order number 105222 in the amount of $25,000.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Okay, number 10, discussion possible action on ordinance 2025-09, an ordinance repealing and striking Chapter 2, Article 5, Section 2-242 of the Southside Code of Ordinance and substituting a new Chapter 2, Article 5, Section 2-242 of the Southside Code of Ordinance, including a severability clause, repealing all conflicting ordinances, providing for codification, and declaring an emergency for emergency purchases.
Okay, so what we've discovered, and this has been an issue that we've actually been meaning to get to you for a while, and it's my fault, it's coming up so late. Our emergency purchase ordinance, or the section that this is dealing with specifically, limits the city manager's ability to authorize emergency purchases for the restoration of utilities only. So if it doesn't have to do with utilities, I can't authorize it. And what we found, as the emergency meeting, we had to have that emergency meeting last week, because I could not authorize that purchase in an emergency. The purchase to replace the box that controlled the intersection. So in an emergency, I couldn't pay for any first responders, couldn't reimburse for that, couldn't even put them up in a hotel because it doesn't have to do with utility services reimbursement or utility services restoration. So all this does is broaden that scope to say, in emergency situations, haven't changed the spending limit, haven't changed the fact that anything over $20,000 still needs to be ratified by the commission following those purchases at the next meeting, but allows us to move at the speed of an emergency without having to have a vote on everything over 20 grand. Any of your questions?
Make a motion for ordinance 2025-09, substituting a new Chapter 2, Article 5, Section 2-242, and declaring an emergency on emergency purchases.
Second.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Do we have to have a separate motion for the first? I need another motion for the emergency.
And I'll make a motion on the emergency clause as well.
Second.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Item 11, discussion and possible action on City of Southside Administrative Policy Number 2.004.00, which is revision 5 of the purchasing manual.
So that paragraph in the purchasing manual is cut and paste, lifted straight out of the ordinance. So if we change the ordinance, we need to change the purchase policy as well. Well, I make a motion approval of City of Southside Administrative Policy Number 2.004.00.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Okay. Item 12, discuss and possible action on exchange of properties by quitclaim deed between the City of Southside and Brian Senior. Both properties are in the vicinity of the Fire Training Center on Epler.
So we were approached by Brian Sinyard. He has the property due west. I'll refer to the map here. Look at it. There you go. He actually has the property due west of the two pieces that we're talking about. What you see on the map is in green, his current property, and in teal, aqua, whatever you want to call it, is the section of our property that he would like to exchange. What that would do is that it would quote-unquote unorphan his property. He has an easement through the trailer park, but he does not have frontage on a road. So that parcel that he currently owns is technically orphaned. So we would exchange, again, that teal property would become his, and we would assume the green property at the bottom. Again, what that would do is give him a square, a larger square to the west, and then would give us an L-shaped property. The assessor's documents in your backup, in your backup files, what that is doing is showing you the cost per acre and the math we use to figure out that the cost per acre is the same. What you'll see on the piece of, on the document that is describing our current piece, our parcel, includes buildings. Well, we're not including buildings in the parcel exchange, so we're trying to get a price per acre. And that is how the math works to determine a price per acre, to show that both pieces of property are financially equivalent and there's no gain or loss to the city. There's no gain to Bryan Senior, and there's no loss to us as far as financially to exchange these two pieces of property. And I'll defer to questions or comments.
Where's this at again?
This is directly south of the water treatment plant. So that's the
They
fire.
built a new fire training center there across the road.
Gotcha.
It's across from DNET, ain't it?
Both, yes, sir.
Yeah.
So the large blue building that you see next to the Y on city property is the fire training center. And that property, that's the whole piece of property.
I'll make a motion to approve the exchange of properties by quitclaim deed.
Second.
Bailey?
Yes.
Moody?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Martins?
Yes. Item 13, discussion and possible action on City of Southside Administrative Policy Number 1.017.00, special event permits.
So this is the creation of a special event permit policy. Previous and currently, we do this on a case-by-case basis. We grant special event permits on a case-by-case basis. This document would govern how and to whom and what the requirements are to gain a special event permit. It also sets a small fee for those permits, and then any additional, excuse me, so there's a base fee, there's an alcohol surcharge, and there is a for-profit and/or fundraising surcharge. So if you have vendors or if you are raising money, you are if you are a for-profit organization, you would owe us an additional amount that is there that I'm, let me see. Yeah, that is, it's in your document. I don't have it in front of me, I apologize. I believe it is $75. It's a flat fee versus a percentage.
For-profit fundraising event surcharge is 50.
50. Thank you.
And then there's another surcharge if they have alcohol.
Yes, sir. We kept the current $100 and we just put that into a policy.
I make a motion to approval administrative policy number 1.017.00, special event permits.
Second.
Moody?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Martins?
Yes. Moving along, discussion and possible action regarding city council desire to continue to offer the community calendar, which would require replacing equipment.
So the community calendar, and Clint, Clint's in here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Fill in blanks where I miss it. The technology that we are using, the hardware that we're using to produce and maintain the community calendar is old, needs to be replaced. It's actually not working now and hasn't worked for the past several months. Bottom line is, folks don't use it. And we base that off of the metric of how many complaints we've gotten in the last several months because it hasn't been working, and then how many requests we've had to put information on it in the last several months. Both of those numbers are in single digits. Like one single digit. And the one complaint we got was they couldn't listen to the radio anymore because we actually pipe mix FM into the channel. So instead of using the free channels that they have with their cable subscription, they use the community calendar. So we recommend doing away with the community calendar. Save us some money, and the effect is minimal from what we've been able to see.
That community calendar information, can that be made available on the city website?
Yes.
Currently, most of those go and get put on the.
Mark.
That was the second part. So even if we were to lose whatever channel it is, the community, there's still the city website and there's still the billboard
Yes, sir.
on the corner there. Right. So we're really not losing much.
No, sir.
Well, then I make a motion that we don't replace the community calendar.
That's correct.
Second.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. All right, item 15 is going to be a two-part motion, discussion extending the state of condemnation of the case numbers in order to allow for the sale of properties and appropriate action taken by new owners.
So these are the two property, there we go. I'll take a breath.
Only if you insist. The two properties, 2502252C was the old Ed's Truck Stop. 02253C was the old golf course. My last conversation with the realtor, he advised that the golf course, that sale did go through. That property did sell on April the 24th. The old truck stop, however, the buyer's bank had requested an extension, in order for some research to obtain some kind of documentation that they're still looking for. And he said that come from the buyer's bank. So with that, it is our recommendation that we dismiss the condemnation for the old golf course on 02253C and a possible extension on 02252C. The length of that extension, I will leave to the council's discretion.
The stay has been in place for approximately 90 days. So, a little tidbit for you as you consider. Our recommendation would be to extend the stay to 1 July, and 1 July it goes back in. Either the property is sold or the stay is lifted and the condemnation goes back into effect.
And the property at the old golf course has been remedied?
Say that again?
That property at the old golf course, even though it's sold, I mean, the
It-
structures are,
It's been secured. It
It
hasn't
has.
been bulldozed. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, they actually want to try to renovate those.
Not all of them.
Not
There's
all.
one building that's almost down already,
Yeah,
so.
the one building's collapsed, but the structure,
That
They
was a
wanna-
covered parking area, yes.
Yeah.
The remaining two, the clubhouse and the residence, they have been secured.
what does secured mean?
The windows and doors have been boarded up, restricting access.
And they do have plans for those buildings eventually, right?
My understanding, yes. Yes, they do.
But they are in the floodplain, so there'll be some additional regulations they'll have to meet to, do any kind of renovations or anything.
That's on both properties.
Yep.
That's either one.
Well, the old truck stock is actually in the 500-year floodplain, and it's got less restrictions on it than the old golf course.
So your recommendation is to dismiss item B and continue item A.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do that in separate motion. Let's do A as a continuance, and then we'll do B as a dismiss.
I make a motion to approve extended stay on number 02-25-2C
Do you want to put a time frame on that?
until the July 14th meeting.
Do you want to do, yes, sir.
If it comes to before then, we can go ahead and address it before then, but I mean, that would be the max time I think we can give them.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
Yeah.
and the reason I came up with that date is I'm trying to keep, selfishly, I'm trying to keep June as clean as I can for budget.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Item B, please.
So we're saying we're
We're gonna dismiss that
Scratching
one.
it.
We're gonna dismiss that one.
So I'll make a motion to dismiss the extended stay on case number 2-25-3C.
Do we want to dismiss the condemnation instead of
We want
the
to,
stay?
yeah, we want to cease the stay, lift the stay.
Cease the
And
stay
dismiss the condemnation.
and dismiss the condemnation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Case number 2-25-3C.
perfect. Second?
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. You're in constant conversation with those folks, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. 16, conduct public hearing to determine if property located at 805 South Walnut Street is a public nuisance. Possible action on case 5-25-1C, a condemnation of a dilapidated structure and direction to abate nuisance. I will now declare that we have a public hearing.
Okay, this structure, it's wood frame. It has been unoccupied with no active utilities since 2020. Deterioration has been evident due to the, there we go. You're gonna have to scroll for me, Christian. Lack of maintenance, upkeep, is especially prevalent on the backside of the structure. According to the last police report that I've located, it was subjected to burglary and vandalism in 2022. Current tax records show a Charles and Mary Chambers. Charles was believed to be deceased. Mary, however, is unknown. I have not had unable to locate her or had any contact. Due to its condition and continuous deterioration, it is believed, in an opinion of this department, that it is becoming a danger and could be a blight on the neighborhood itself.
Any other comments?
What is this in?
Do what?
I am unfamiliar with the wards, I'm sorry.
That should be Ponchos.
I believe that's going to be correct.
Any other comments?
I say we roll it over till Poncho gets here, let him decide. It's his ward.
All right, I'll close the public hearing. Any action? You want to table this issue?
Yes, sir.
Put that in the motion, please.
I make a motion to table this issue till July meeting.
You want to do June or July?
You wanted to keep June open for,
Yes, sir, that's my personal opinion, but
Okay.
Well, if it's a
July.
public safety concern, regardless of whose ward it is, it needs addressed.
Let's throw it on June. You want to do that? You want to rephrase your motion?
I make a motion to table this till June's meeting.
Okay. Second?
Bailey,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes, thank you, Brother Josh. 17, conduct public hearing to determine the property located at 613 West Choctaw Avenue is a public nuisance. Possible action on case 5-25-2C is the condemnation of dilapidated structure and direction to abate nuisance. I'll go ahead and open public hearing on that.
Wood frame structure has been unoccupied for at least 1 year. It was found to be unsecured with both doors wide open during the last, probably a couple of months, just a month or so ago. At which time deterioration due to the lack of maintenance and upkeep was evidenced by rotting fascia boards, leaking roof, and the collapsing ceiling. Current tax records show the ownership under David Reeves, who's believed to be in a nursing home. The city did abate this property last year one time. During the time that it was found to be unsecured, it did still have active utilities that have been since disconnected.
Due to the amount of trash, and at the time that it was discovered, live animals were seen scurrying out. This has become believed to be a habitat for animals, both wild and feral. Just a general nuisance on the community in and of itself. And after speaking with some family members, I believe it is believed that Mr. Reeves is aware of the situation.
We haven't heard from anybody at this point, though, have we?
No. Nobody has reached out to this office.
Now, if this is in Poncho's ward as well, do we want to continue that same thought process?
I mean, can't do it to one, not the other.
Right, I agree.
Any other comments? Not, I'll close the public hearing, we'll have action taken.
I make a motion to stay this until June's meeting.
Second.
Bailey?
Yes.
Moody?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Martins?
Yes. All right, 18, conduct public hearing to determine if the property located at 411 South Locust Street is a public nuisance. Possible action on case 525-3C, condemnation of dilapidated structure and direction to abate nuisance. I'll declare the public hearing open for that one too.
I believe this structure is also gonna be within that same ward. I'll just go ahead and put that one out there now. This is also located within a floodplain. It has been an unoccupied structure. Last utilities were active in 2019. This structure was subjected to 2 fires within an hour of each other on April the 9th of this year. Property has remained unsecured, had damaged open doors and windows, had been frequented by transients and vandals alike. The property had been purchased by a JL Dream Properties at a tax sale in 2021, but was also slated to go back for tax sale again in June of this year. The property has been abated since then multiple times by the city for a current total of over $1,060. After the fire, my office received a phone call from an individual stating that he had purchased the property last year, but in accordance with county tax records, had not filed the deed under their name. This has proven to be a nuisance on the community with being unsecured and frequented by both vandals and transients. And I request that, again, that this council also declare it a nuisance.
Keep in mind that this is an open structure and it is dangerous. There's probably nails. The fact that we know that it's an open structure too, does kind of create a little bit of a liability for the city with kids getting in there. And you know how kids are. They're gonna go places they're not supposed to.
When's the tax sale? In June?
25th, I believe.
Of this month?
June.
To me, this one looks more dangerous.
I think it's a different situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a little different deal.
I'll take one on the chin for it, Josh. I reckon, I
Let's
make
close
a,
the public hearing
oh,
first.
close it.
I'll close the public hearing. If any other comments? Now we can go ahead and take action.
make a motion, case number 5-25-3C be declared a public nuisance and direct staff to abate.
Second.
Moody?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Martins?
Yes. Thank you, guys. Appreciate what you do. 19, receive update on economic development and grant activities. Is that Mr. Borman?
Yes, thank you. Last month, I mentioned that we acquired a grant through ICMA for economic mobility and opportunities. And so, as a requirement from that grant, we will be going to a conference starting on June the 20th in Baltimore. It's completely paid for by the grant. There's a requirement for a face-to-face meeting. With that being said, I bring that up because Skylar, myself, and we'll be taking another member from Carl Albert will not be here for the budget retreat. But, so if there's anything you guys want to know from us, let us know and we'll get it to you. Be applying for a TSET grant that incorporates regional partners, and a project that will center around public health. That project will exceed $3 million. I don't know what our chances are of getting the grant, but we're gonna apply for it and see where it goes. And so we'll have some MOUs and some different agreements in front of Jordan, in front of his council, so we can kind of get that project kicked off. OWRB grants, Drake and Lennington Water Loop. OWRB came back and paid for the engineering of that project. I think it was an additional $59,000, which has been received as of this past week. Mr. Keith Miller and Scott Neal will be working on a final punch list with the contractor. Once complete, they will do a final walkthrough, and OWRB will be present for that. We've also been applying for a public health grant through Cherokee Nation. Scholars applied for 2 of those grants. One will be for the soccer fields, the other one will be for the brushy bathrooms. So those will be good, worthwhile projects, and hopefully we'll get those paid for. Land Water Conservation Fund grant, as we had mentioned before in this meeting, that we applied for the soccer fields as well. It kind of got doged, got canceled for a little bit. I am under the understanding that has moved forward, and they're on the governor's desk to be signed. I'm not sure where we stand in that process, and we won't know until they're signed. Unallocated prep grant funding, we'll be paying for the comprehensive master plan that you guys approved last month. The contract has been executed with Olson, and we will have a kickoff meeting on the 29th. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
29th.
Small, just with staff.
Yep.
Project management team.
So once that kicks off, it'll open up to a much broader team to kind of help out, involving community members and other stakeholders. Once again, I think it'll be kind of a bottom-up approach to where we'll get input from people and really have a plan that's put together that'll help our community, so. Firefighter equipment grant is still outstanding. We applied, we were initially approved, and they rescinded the grant throughout the state. We put our application back in. We hope to hear something this week for some firefighter equipment. We applied for a True Green Spaces grant to upkeep some of our ball fields. I'm not sure where we'll stand on that. Planned unit development, we put together a draft ordinance to kind of make our zoning more flexible for developers. That went before planning commission. They're gonna come back with suggestions and edits. We'll get that approved, and once we do, we'll have it to you guys to look at and potentially approve. We're actively engaged with discussions with developers. We had a hotel development meeting last week, or week before last. And we're still actively engaged in retail recruitment with another kickoff meeting this week. So things are moving. You know, since we've received development there on the south end, or since we've got development on the south end, we're seeing more and more actively that people are approaching us. And so that's the ultimate goal, right? We want primary jobs that produce expendable income, and your retail comes to you, so. Boys and Girls Club is still working on a contract with the school, and we'll begin design phase soon for the new gymnasium. We talked about it a little bit. It'll be across from Liberty Elementary. It'll be a worthwhile project, and hopefully we'll have a venue for when we have chamber events and such to actually host, so. We had a kickoff meeting this past week with Cherokee Nation and People Incorporated and Southside Public Schools regarding a sidewalk project. It'll be around the school. It's part of a small part of the Safe Streets for All project. And so we're pretty optimistic that that's moving forward and will be a worthwhile project for our kids to get to those developments, those housing developments, and back home to school and safely.
Primarily, just to manage expectations, that's along JT Stites and Ruth to the high school and middle school.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, viewing that project as a worthwhile project, with it being such a busy corridor, you know, we knew that we had to bring all our partners along board to get that thing kind of kicked off, and we received very good input, and I feel like we're on a path to get the thing completed, so it'll be good. We're gonna have a Millicent plant tour coming up in June with SIC. I know some of you have indicated that you wanna go to that. If there's 2 of you that wanna go, we'll get you included, and 2 councilmen that wanna go, we'll get you included, and you can view that plant, what's going on. I'll tell you, the amount of technology and work that they've done is incredible. We'll be putting more and more people to work as that thing progresses at full ramp up. In 10 years, there's no telling where it'll be, so it's exciting. We had a meeting with a housing developer who's shown serious interest in Sallisaw and its development. Once again, as we continue to grow, I think those conversations become easier, right? You've got the people and the numbers to support it, and so, we expect those conversations to continue. And with that, there's a Nora Housing Summit that, is happening on July 15th. We'll be at Rose State. If there's any of you that'd like to go to that, kind of see how those projects are put together, how to incentivize them, how to get them to your communities, we'd love to have you, just let me know. Oklahoma Arts Council, I just want to say that they have been partnering with our community for 20 years or better, for Diamond Days. Ernie, you may know, when did Diamond Days kick off? 2005, 2004-ish?
We had 4 on the first one at the airport.
So I think maybe, I don't know if it was that inaugural year, but they've been partnering with our community every year and again this year. So I just want to give a shout out to Oklahoma Arts Council and the National Endowment for the Arts, because every year they partner with us every year. You know, they help make that thing happen. And, so it's incredible to see that partnership continue on for so long. With that being said, we ran the numbers on Diamond Days. Just in the downtown 6-block area, we had 7,700 people, which is incredible across those 2 days. I think citywide, you know, because we have different components of Diamond Days now that don't necessarily happen in those 6-block area. You've got the barbecue contest, you've got the 5K, you've got some native games that happen at the school, you've got a 3-on-3 tournament. I ran some numbers on it, and it's an estimate, but I estimate that between 8,500 and 10,000 people were directly impacted by Diamond Days. So it's amazing, and I think that thing is going to continue to become more impactful as long as we keep going and we're consistent. We keep that thing on the track, so it's good to see. I know that was a lot of information I just threw at you. So, any questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 20, receive update on current and future projects.
Your pool project is going along pretty good. We've had several meetings with contractors. One of them is moving along really fast. Hoey is moving along really good. I met with them today. We started some water testing for the new system there. They have been doing capstone work. If you don't know what that is, that's where they take the top of some pillars, they put a capstone on it to make it look a little more presentable. So they've had a lot of things going on. Their electrical system is approximately 90% complete with their portion of it. The remaining of the electrical will be on the other pool contractor, Boy. We have started a push on Boy. They have gotten a little bit behind, so we have began a push with them between myself, Mr. Heverly, and the architect, Jeff Evans, to get them to get things geared up and get a little more things moving faster. We trying to make sure that they don't hold this project up so that we can get it open as soon as possible. If you haven't been by there, you can still see there's lots of progress being done. The Southall Public Schools has started a portion of theirs. Today they actually poured one of their new sections of concrete that's going to be part of and adjoining to the pool complex. By the time it's done, it will make it look like an even larger project than what initially we anticipated. Southall Public Schools, I just got to give a shout out to Mr. Barrett. He has been a great partner in this. There's not much that we haven't asked him to do, or when he has questions, he calls and asks if he can do. He wants to make this one of the best looking sports plus aquatic centers that you've ever seen, with it tying into the school. Another part of the project that they want to change is they want to switch to the color schemes that we now have at the pool complex. They're going to be changing their entire facility up to mimic what we have constructed. So by the time they tie it all together, it will look like a massive complex. So we're very proud of what we're building over there and what Southall Public Schools are doing. See, your water project, George told you that Scott Neal and I, we have scheduled tomorrow to do our initial punch list walkthrough. Once we get that completed, we'll turn it over to the contractor. give them a time frame to complete that punch list so that we can get things moving forward on finalizing our OWRB information that we need to finalize with them so that we can close that out. Hopefully that goes fairly quick. Hopefully we can stay with a little bit of dry weather to help move that along. If you haven't kept up with it, that's been a few problems with us this year with some of our projects. If you didn't know, last month alone, we had almost 15 inches of rain. So that causes a little bit of a damper on some of our projects. On Locust and Elm, Mr. Williams with Jim Bray Plumbing has got that project started. He's probably got about 50 to 60% of the length of that project done. He's not let the rain slow him down very much. He anticipates by the end of the month, he will probably be doing his final tie-ins and everything with that project. Then when he gets into June, he'll be doing his initial cleanup and getting that knocked out of the way so that we can complete that project. We still have 2 pending projects at Eastgate. George, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we're really close on being able to make an announcement with one of them. But still yet, that they like us to keep it closed, but we do want to let you know that we do have things in the works on both sides of town. You know, that's one thing that George will also tell you, that revitalizing the east end of town is going to be a nice thing. So the more that we can do with Eastgate Shopping Center, I think it's going to help the community look better as a whole. Chris Carter and I also met with the Salisaw Apartment Group this morning. They brought in some preliminary documents talking about their plating in that area so that we can get that going. They've contracted with Kelly Osborne, who's a local land surveyor, to do that work for them. They also brought in 6 sets of documents for their first 6 single-family dwellings that they're going to build in that. So we're going to be reviewing those documents, going through that to make sure that they met the criteria that they told us they would do, and all the initial meetings that we had prior to this. George told you that the Planning Commission has begun their work on the PUD information. The Planning Commission has also began writing some rules and procedures to help govern the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission has never really had a set of written documents, so this is something that we'll be putting together with the Planning Commission so that they have a set of procedures to actually govern how they operate, how they address everything. And this will eventually, this will help us work into our CMP, our Comprehensive Master Plan. It will set out a set of rules and guidelines that that will help them govern and keep control of documents like that once we have them finalized and finished. So there's a lot of things going on around the town. We're very proud of what's going on. And if you have any other questions or questions on anything that we got going on, please let us know.
Comments, questions? Thank you much.
All right, thank you.
Who wants to give us an update on the financial status of the city? Robin?
I'll get one.
It was gonna be Chris Carter, but she beat him up there.
Yeah, Chris, you wanna do this?
Thank you, Greg.
Go ahead, Robin.
Sales tax for April, I know I sent out the report for May today, but the sales tax for April remained positive. It was $665,000. The use tax was $82,000. At the end of April, we're 10 months into our fiscal year, which is 83% of our budget goals. General fund revenue sets at 84%, and the expenses set at 80%. SMA revenues for taxes is 72%, telecom 82%, sanitation and landfill 79%, electric service 79%, water and sewer 104%. The total revenue for SMA sets at 84%, and our overall expenses is 66%. We've also presented you with your preliminary budget books. Reminder that next week, not next week, yes, next week already, 20th and 21st will be the budget retreat. So if you want to,
2021.
Is it-
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday, 20th, 21st, is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, if you want to familiarize yourself with it, it's laid out just like it has been in the years prior. Feel free to reach out to Kaylee and I if you have any questions regarding anything ahead of time that you see that might look concerning or whatever. We'll detail it more with our presentation. We're fixing to start working on that this week. And we'll have more detail for you, during that time, but don't hesitate to reach out to us. And I want to thank Kaylee for her support and work, and she's still learning, but she really stepped up her game this year and helped me a bunch get it done. And thank Brian for your patience and understanding. So anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to call us.
Thank you, Rob. Mr. Everly, some of this stuff's already been covered, but you go ahead.
Yes, sir. So first of all, we mentioned the 29th will be our kickoff meeting for the project management team for the comprehensive master plan. There is a group called a stakeholder committee, and that is 50 to 70 people. And that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about during that kickoff meeting is who needs to be part of that. Obviously, this body as well as the planning commission are part of that, but we still have to fill out the rest of that with community members, students, leaders. Really, our intent is to get a cross-section of the community and get them in there. So we've got all voices from all quarters being heard as we go through this plan. AMI meters, we actually have our quote-unquote pre-construction meeting with them tomorrow. We could begin installs as early as next week, and already Ted and his crew have actually been putting some of the new meters into the Redbird Estates development. No sense in putting in old meters just to rip them out a week later. You already heard about the pool project, soccer fields, you've already heard about. Just a reminder, our decision point is mid-August to proceed without grant funding. So we've got plenty of time to get it and plenty of time to hear about it. But if we don't, by mid-August, we'll go out to bid with a target of, the amount of money that we actually have to spend on, which is approximately $500,000. So we'll just put as much as we can in the addendums and get us soccer fields that we'll be able to play on next spring. And that's even pushing the envelope by mid-August. Animal control ordinance, is out. The draft, is out for comment. There is a QR code on Facebook. Please read the draft document before you comment on the survey. It is on Facebook. I believe it was also posted to the city website. George wants to say something. Go.
Yeah, we're gonna run it in the paper for 5 issues. You can scan the QR code and take it that way. As of today, we've got 70-ish responses.
So one of the plan for that is to provide a roll-up of that feedback back to the, and I'm going to use this term in quotes, the subcommittee, the after-party that meets for the Planning Commission in June, make additional changes if necessary, and come back to the Planning Commission in July and to you all for a final vote on that final document. But it is out for public consumption and comment through, I believe it's the 29th is what we talked about, through that last Friday of the month. McGee softball fields, we've got a generous donation that will actually allow True Green to come in and put the chemical applications on the two far softball fields. I say far from the parking lot, far softball fields. The city will continue to maintain continue to cut the grass, and will maintain the other two grass fields. But it'll be this fall after the seasons are over. We'll till those back up and turn those back into dirt fields there at McGee Fields. The landfill cell, Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, we're just waiting for it to dry out before we start throwing garbage in it. What you don't want to do is you don't want it to be wet, throw a little bit of garbage in it, and then drive that brand new compactor over it and destroy the liner. So it's got to be dry enough for us to put garbage in and start compacting it. The Animal Welfare Center building that was donated by Millicent is down and moved. So if you go out to the animal shelter, it's actually, that's what that pile of metal is there in the center of the circle, that we will hopefully get put up next fiscal year. We just learned this morning, and this is, I hesitate, I'm gonna find some wood to knock on, but it is looking very promising that we will receive an OWRB 100% forgiveness loan to design the new wastewater treatment plant. $1.5 million to design it. It's not free, it's a forgivable loan, but it is looking very promising that we'll wind up on the recipient list of that from the state. If the funding stays the way we expect it to. Yeah, there's a lot of ifs still, but it's looking cautiously optimistic. Finally, the kayaks are coming. We finally signed the agreement. we are on the, I contacted them, asked, okay, when can I expect my stuff? Pads, we poured the pad for it, we're ready, we're sitting there waiting for them. It'll be inside of 90 days that we'll have those actually out there. I'm pushing them weekly to get it here as soon as they can, because summer is a wasted. I don't know if any of you all were out there, but it was full during Diamond Days. That weekend, it was jam-packed. Pending any questions, gentlemen, or anybody here? That's all I have.
Just a comment, if you haven't been out to the dog park, it's fantastic. If you haven't been out there, drive by and take a look at it. It's really a cool project. It really looks nice, and so something we can be proud of. And it's gonna be nice to have the Bailey Coachman name on it.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
you know, if you haven't gone by and see it, I suggest you do that. It looks great.
Each time I've gone out there, there's been people out there. so-
Yeah, already people using it. Mhm.
Yeah, our grand opening, as soon as we get a timeline for the completion of the sign, we'll do a grand opening for it, have a little, a grand opening event out there, but it is open for use if folks wanna go out there now, obviously. We're not gonna put a lock on it if it's ready to go.
And if I could, just give a shout out to Skylar Fulbright, who's writing that grant. She wrote that grant, kind of helps manage that project, as best she knew how, and it turned out pretty good, so I just want to give a shout out to her.
Absolutely. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. With that, we will go on into the South Salem Municipal Authority regular meeting. I wanted to call that meeting to order and declare that we do have a quorum. Let's have a possible action on the minutes of the regular meeting of April 14th, 2025.
I make a motion.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Item 4, discussion possible action on renewal of water contracts with Rural Water District Number 3, Rural Water District Number 4, and CD Water Systems for the purchase of treated water. Mr. Everly.
So these are the normal annual contracts that go out to our bulk water customers. Good news is that Rural District 3 has asked for a contract. We don't know the time, they don't know the timing specifically of when the old Sequoia County Water District will fully transition to Rural District 8 and actually turn on their spigot. Sir, do you have any?
Any comment would you like?
He's 4. He's 4. No, so Rural District 3 does need a, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Fleetwood, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's back there.
Any additional comment?
No, sir, y'all proceed right ahead, and I'm sure as soon as they find out, they'll let you know.
Okay, yeah, so that, yes, sir. No, so what we did is I was in contact with, oh, I'm gonna brain fart on his name, sir. Who'd you put me in contact with? Barry Spires, thank you. Good, because I called him twice wrong, incorrectly. But Mr. Spires and I had a conversation. They do want a contract for this year. It'll be a full-year contract, but obviously if Rural District 8 is ready to turn the water on sooner, it has a termination clause in it. They can back out of it. Rural District 4 has signed it. It is ready for your signature as well, sir. And then we have not heard back from CD. We will make contact with them later this week to see where they are in the process.
We can have one motion to encompass all the rural district, to approve all the rural water district contracts that we want, so we don't have to spell them out.
I'll make a motion on the renewal of water contracts for rural water district number 3, 4, and CD water systems.
Thank you.
Second.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Thank you all for being here, gentlemen, appreciate you. Number 5, discussion possible action on scope of work and quote from Algonquin Consultants, Inc. in the amount of $12,450 to conduct a cultural resource archaeological survey of both the landfill expansion area and the stream mitigation area prior to any earthwork or disturbances being done, and approval for mayor to sign ensuing contract for the same price. So that'd be 2 motions on this, too, also.
So this is, Algonquin Consultants came recommended, from our consultant, Cattails. This is, is for the, cultural resource study / survey of the land, not only the landfill expansion site itself, but also the permittee, I'm gonna screw this up, the permitting mitigation response, which is basically if we're moving small bodies of water, ponds, marshes, swamps, we're gonna tear those up and put a landfill on top of them. We need to recreate those somewhere else. So this is not the first step. This is the next step in this process, is to do a cultural resource survey to make sure we're not disturbing anything we shouldn't be. And they're going to do a survey of the landfill site and the site we propose to recreate all of the water, all the EPA required and USACE required environments.
Wetlands.
Further east in the property.
It is apparent, it made to me that this is not just for Cherokee Nation artifacts, but the Osage Nation presages the Cherokees for this area, so it will be looking for artifacts for both Osage Nation and Cherokee Nation, is what I've been told. That first motion to approve the scope of work?
Make a motion to approve the scope of work and quote from Heliquin Consultants in the amount of $12,450 to conduct a cultural resource and archaeological survey.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I got that backwards. Hamilton,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Can I have a motion for approval of Mayor too?
Make a motion for the approval of mayor to sign a ensuing contract for St. Price.
Second.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Item 6, discussion and possible action concerning the proposal from Terra Foundation in an amount not to exceed $26,910 to design the stream restoration project as a result of USAC's permit responsible mitigation requirements for the expansion of the landfill, and authorize the mayor to sign the ensuing contract for not to exceed price.
So what we did everything I just said fills into this as well. This is the next step to design the stream restoration and the environmental duplication that we have to do as part of this project. So again, any disturbances where we're gonna put the landfill have to be recreated further quote-unquote downstream. We have a site set aside for that, and this firm is the one that will be doing the permittee responsible mitigation and tell us exactly what we need to do, where, and how much it'll cost. This is the design firm, not the execution firm. That'll be a separate contract.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the proposal and authorize the mayor to sign necessary documents.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Item 7, discussion and possible action on purchase order number 105278, issued to Warren Cat in the amount of $210,000 for the purchase of one used Caterpillar model 725C WT articulated truck for the landfill department. Amy, comment?
So fill in the blanks. Yeah, it is not the lowest price, admittedly. You have the 3 bids in front of you. However, we believe this is the best price bid. Lowest bid was $199,500. However, it was a much older vehicle, and the warranty was only for the water tank itself. The middle bid was for a younger vehicle that had more hours on it and also a lower warranty. The 210,000 bid, 2015 vehicle, lowest number of miles, and a year or 500 hours warranty on it.
And it's a rental unit from their facility, so they've had it and they know the history of it, the service records and all that.
And it's in the quote, it did say, if you see there in the quote, it did say that when they get it back from their current company, they'll refit it, do an inspection, fix any issues, and give it, and then prior to giving it to us.
What kind of time frame were they talking about?
It's currently on rent right now. They'll have to pull it, clean it, service it, and bring it to us. I would expect it, maybe 60 days, something like that probably.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve purchase order number 105278.
I'll second.
Moody,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Any other reports, Mr. Heatherly?
No, sir.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martins.
Yes. Thanks again to all our guests being here this evening. We appreciate your attendance. Thank you so much.